Hey sci-fi fans, Aaron Sagers here, and I'm in London for the world premiere of Cult of Chucky, the 7th in the Child's Play franchise. Don, I want to start with you. I'm curious about with the Cult of Chucky, like, what was the mission after Curse when you were heading into Cult? What did you set out to really do?
The mission was to continue the story of Nika that we had left dangling at the end of Curse. I also wanted to see what would happen if we took disparate characters from the franchise, like Tiffany and Andy Barclay, and put them on a collision course and see what happens when they meet. And the third thing was just to plug Chucky into yet another subgenre, because we always try to make it a different kind of movie every time. That's just a good way to keep it fresh. So whereas the last one was a gothic old dark house movie, this is a insane asylum movie, which we'd never seen Chucky before. And it's also a mind movie. My inspirations were, Shock Corridor and Shutter Island, but also like Inception, even, since all of the characters in the story, they're all unreliable narrators in a way, because their perceptions of reality are all questionable because they're all fucking nuts. So it was a fun way to see Chucky, where you're making the viewer question reality.
Let me ask you, do you view this now as a Chucky universe? It's already been a universe, but now that you're bringing characters together, does it feel
Absolutely.
like...
Yeah, it definitely. I think that's our mission. And the next iteration of Chucky, which I can't talk too much about, but David Kirshner and I are planning, would bring that universe to a new place. I know that sounds really abstract and a little annoying, but there you have it.
How has Chucky evolved over the years, not just as a character, but even just personally in your interactions, how you view the doll, the puppet, and everything? Like, how has that evolved for you guys over your time with the franchise, Don?
Well, for me, I think my relationship to him as a filmmaker, I'm always thinking, okay, can I get this to do this thing that I want him to do? And in this movie, we can't say too much without spoiling it for this interview, but since you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. We see Chucky in a new way in this movie. Chucky is kind of all over the place in a new way. Realizing that on screen was really complicated, particularly at our budget and schedule range. So for me, I'm always, what I think of him as like a headache. In a way, I love him, but it's just like, how do I get him to do this? And I try to set a really high bar, and I also don't ever want to resort to CGI, even though that conversation happens with each movie, because the studio encourages that because it would save them money, but I try to resist that, and so far have successfully, because I think it's so important for the integrity of the series that he be a tangible puppet, and I think it's a lot easier for the actors to have something to react to.